Rocking with PetTeaBlog.com.
I can't be on the PetTeaBlog.
Petty.
So they already know that I'm dropping the tea.
Oh my God, it just hit me. Petty and tea. I was so dumb.
Okay, so this is one of the craziest stories we've ever heard. Absolutely insane. Like, the March 2023 update is crazy. And here's what happened. On September 8th of 2022, shortly before 6 p.m. on the 300 block of 27th Street, about a half block west of Broadway in Oakland, California, a 22-year-old and a 40-year-old, both of San Francisco, were shot at multiple times after leaving a mutual friend's wake in Oakland. According to reports, right after the wake, the 40-year-old was sitting inside the parked vehicle and the 22-year-old was on the outside of it on the north side of the street when unknown assailants did a drive-by on them. Miraculously, the 22-year-old survived the shots and got his own transportation to the hospital, but sadly, the 40-year-old didn't make it. At the time, they didn't identify the 22-year-old by name, but the 40-year-old victim was identified as Dominique Miles. A motive for the shooting was not determined and no arrests were made, but Crime Stoppers of Oakland were offering up to $15,000 in reward money for information that could lead to an arrest, but unfortunately nothing came out of that. The shooter or shooters were never caught and therefore a motive was never found. And as far as the 22-year-old, he was recently identified as Paris Moffet, and the incident left him paralyzed from the waist down.
Paris Moffet, who was partially paralyzed.
And according to a report, he was in 2 hospitals before being recently transferred to a long-term recovery facility in a nursing home to continue his recovery. On February 25th, he turned 23, and then 2 weeks after his birthday, absolute tragedy struck, and then the unthinkable happened. A little before 1 a.m. on March 11, while Paris Moffet was probably asleep or he may have been awake, that hasn't been determined yet, but 2 men got into the long-term facility that he was in at Lake Merritt Healthcare Center in Oakland, and for some reason the back door was left unlocked. So that's how they entered the premises.
2 men snuck in through an unlocked back door.
And then they went up to his room that he shared with at least one other patient, and then they shot him multiple times in his bed, and unfortunately this time Paris Moffet did not survive the shots.
Was shot and killed in his room in the middle of the night at an Oakland care facility.
Unbelievable.
No one would expect to go to a skilled nursing facility and expect to be in danger from a shooting. That is unheard of.
And it's being described as a gang-style hit, and disappointingly, the people responsible got away with it again.
Now we're looking for 2 men who ran from that scene.
An Oakland City Council member said that he can tell that this was targeted and said this was not some random shooting or a burglary or robbery gone bad. These were 2 murderers that came there with the intent to kill this particular person.
It was a targeted shooting.
Look, it's been 6 months since he was first shot and a week since he was shot again, and no arrests have been made for either occasion. Not even info on the assailants that can help track them down. No camera footage, not even in a long-term facility where it happened at. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how is this possible? Why didn't they have cameras? And how can anybody just walk in like that? Like, this could have been prevented. Why was there no security? I mean, they claim that the facility has limited security and that it was lax prior to the shooting. Like, did they not know that they were dealing with a shooting victim? That alone should have garnered a need for his safety, and they should have had a guard on duty.
There's always supposed to be some level of security.
His mom is distraught. She didn't want to appear on camera, respectfully so, but she had some of the same questions.
The lack of staff, it's the lack of security. They were just negligent. He did not deserve to go that way.
Man, we pray that this young man gets justice and that all the ones responsible are caught ASAP. Like, how evil can one be to come and unalive someone who was born in 2000, so they're young, not to mention right after their birthday, who you already left partially paralyzed. That's just plain sadistic and evil. The story is developing, but justice for Paris Moffet and Dominique Miles. Rest in peace.
I can't believe anybody would do that to somebody that's not even able to even protect themselves.